My name is Sierra Paniwa Felicidad, and I come as a director for Herbal Department of the Sewing for Native Nations. My elder, Rena Brown, is the co-founder of this organization, and we're doing an interview with Rona Johnston. That's your last name, right? Okay. Rona Johnston for the importance of upkeeping Native traditions and like the importance of preservation of our culture. And you can now introduce yourself.
I'm Rona Johnston, and I'm Cherokee, mixed blood, and been carving pipes for 40 years. I like plants. I like to walk around and identify everything I see, and I use some of those plants in medicine to help, my family and friends, and I always have a big garden and like to live out in the country where I can be in touch with the earth and the animals and even the bugs. They're part of our circle.
Yes. I forget about those sometimes, especially when we put on things to keep the bugs
I don't want
away.
them to bite me,
Right.
but they serve an important role. Without bugs, we probably all die.
Right.
Think about the little things.
Yes.
How
the
they
little
impact
things.
everything.
So as a keeper of, ancient knowledge, and, that's just in our blood, being indigenous people, I think just, our existence is our resistance. But, you help out with the Pipestone monument and upkeeping your store there. Why do you feel it's important to upkeep Native traditions in this time?
I think that all people, whether they're natives of North and South America or from other countries, if we all go back far enough in our history, it's the basis of our culture is connected with the earth and the land and the animals and the air and the water. And part of what our teachings was our place in helping preserve that balance in our environment, the balance that helped the planets, it helped us, it helped, there's this, stuff going on. And when we started deviating off what we call a red road today, that road that leads to the benefit of many versus just the benefit of a few, the road where we keep in touch with spirit and we keep in touch with the land, the road where we try to serve the greater good. When we started deviating for that and looking at the stuff we see as being, well, how much is that worth, and how much money can I make, and how many people can I take advantage of, we've lost that. And I think by preserving each tribe's any knowledge that still exists, whether they're from North America, South America, Canada, Alaska, all those people, Hawaii, there is knowledge that is essential in all of our survival.
Yeah, for real.
And many people don't understand it, but many people are searching. And we have this, because of this big unbalance, there's a lot of fear, and there's a lot of people worrying about, what other people are doing and what they're saying, but they don't see a lot of people going out of their way to really change themselves. I worry about you. I worry that you're not doing it right in my mind, but I forget to look at myself, and I forget to think about what little changes can I make to how I live that will benefit the planet and benefit me in the long run. Because when we pollute this earth, this air, the water, it affects us as much as it does anybody else. And I don't care how much money we spend trying to clean up the mess we made, we're a whole lot better off if we just would have left it okay to begin with. Don't pollute it. Don't pour chemicals. Don't dig all the minerals out of the earth. There has to be other solutions. And we have to start somewhere, Maybe you buy most of your clothes from thrift stores.
Yeah.
You trade with other people, like the lady that came to the store today,
Yeah.
and she goes around and they make their own soaps and different things, and then
Yeah.
they trade with the next person down the line, and we try not to use a lot of packaging or whatever. I mean, all those little kind of things. Bringing your bag to the grocery store. I'm always surprised when I talk to people that are worried about their spirituality, and they're worried about their prayers, and they're worried about, a sweat lodge. They're worried about it. They need to pray. They're worried about finding that balance, spiritually.
Huh.
But they don't think about how that affects their body when they go eat Burger King. Like we had people who would come out to Sweat Lodge.
Oh, yeah.
And they would bring cookies and they would bring junk food, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. We're gonna put down my foot here because plants are important.
Yeah.
Right? And our bodies are important. As important as our minds. So spiritually we can try to rise to a new level, but if you're not taking care of your body too,
Yeah.
balance says, right, that we have to do it at the same time.
Yeah.
So like if I'm driving a car and I'm only moving one wheel, I'm going around in circles. Right? If I'm only got power around one wheel, I'm really worried about my spirituality, or I'm really worried about my body, I'm not going to go forward. I'm just going to keep going, spinning around in circles. I'm not going to make a lot of forward motion. And there has to be, you have to think about all those aspects, and everybody is in their own place. And not everybody can jump right into, like I know a lady, she don't use any products that she deems that at any point in time in their processing would have damaged the earth. So if the company, has been in trouble for polluting, or if they mistreat their workers, she'll spend months looking to find the company that she'll buy from. But not all of us are ready for that, and not all of us
Like that time.
Work.
Work.
But
Right.
there's smaller things that we can all do. Start somewhere, and then as we learn more and do more, it becomes easier to make those changes. Like I don't have no garbage in my house. We don't have regular garbage.
Yeah.
Pick up. I don't just take and throw everything away in the garbage can. I think it helps you think about how you're using, how your consumerism becomes more apparent when you can't just throw everything away, and you don't put out 3-4 garbage cans a week to be picked up by the garbage collector. So if I got to recycle all my metal, and I recycle all my glass, and I recycle my plastics, and and then you start to think, okay, so if I'm buying this, look at all the packaging on it. Is there some way I can do that without encouraging more packaging being produced,
And that's the way we can have more awareness on our footprint and how we walk.
Yeah.
In a more conscious way, having ceremony every day instead of just, one place or the other. And in that way, I feel like the awareness, we are almost honoring, like, the old, ancient ways of observation, of, like, awareness. And it's not just awareness, but it's like, I don't know how to put it. You're more connected to the things around you. You're more in harmonious relation, rather than just seeing everything as disposable.
Everything in our world is disposable. When I have to buy something, nowadays, I try to do some research and make sure that what I'm buying isn't just going to fall apart in 6 months. I want something that's like my sofa. I've had that for 20 years.
Yeah.
I take care of it. I bought it.
I see what you're saying.
I make sure that I buy a good quality product. I try to buy it with natural materials.
Yeah.
Try to be conscious about, and like I said, you can't just jump in and do anything. In the beginning, I made a goal of not buying anything from outside the United States. Anything made outside the United States, more than 10 times in a year. Because there's some things you can't buy
Yeah.
that
Wow.
if you wouldn't buy anything outside the United States.
Yeah.
But so either I buy at thrift stores or I make conscious effort, I'm reading all the tags. Very soon I realized all our clothing comes from China and Indonesia.
Yeah, and
You
how
know?
are those people being treated? But oh my
Yeah.
God, yeah, let's go back to the question. How do you feel that you educate and introduce this way of life to your community and the people around you? Could you tell, the public about how, like, what you do with your daughter and, with Bud and all that?
I think some of the biggest ways that we educate people is by example. Like when I had cancer, and I drove the doctors nuts. I drove some of my relatives nuts because I didn't want to do chemo, didn't do radiation, didn't do all those things.
Yeah.
And, the Pipes on Paper thought that was so spectacular. They did a big story on it, because here I was, had my breast cancer, and instead of going and having radiation, I'm, taking herbs and changing my lifestyle, changing my eating habits, and, and they thought that was, like, amazing.
Doing the easy act
Yeah,
tea.
yeah, the tea, the chaga, and cutting out dairy products, and cutting out meat products, and cutting out all the, if I read a label and it says something I can't pronounce, I just don't want to eat it.
Yeah.
Just chuck it. I had a friend, I have a friend that, Janelle, she'd come down and help us out on occasion. She was volunteer for a while, was a member. And we were cooking together, right? And so I'm making one of my meals with the organic this, and she asked me this question. She goes, what does that matter? And I'm like, everything you put in your body matters.
Yeah.
I said, do you read the labels on the things you buy? And she goes, well, a cake mix is just flour and sugar. And I'm like, no, read it. So I pull this box. I had some stuff there that somebody had left. It was just wasn't going to eat it. So I pulled out this box. I said, read this box. So she reads it, and she goes, what is that? She reads something off. I don't know. She goes, why are they putting it in the cake mix? I said, don't know that either. That's why I don't eat it.
If you can't pronounce it, don't buy it, right?
Yeah, and then she comes back to me a few months later, and she goes, because of you, I started reading labels.
Oh my gosh.
She said, I started reading labels, and she says, I can't eat anything. She said, you ruined it. I had to throw everything in my house out and go shopping.
It's a transformation when we learn to honor.
So that's a really good way we can, by example. When I go to the store, I have my cloth bags. In fact, I go to Pipestone to the Coburns, and Camus today said, my mom has bags. Yep, I remember you. You guys always bring your bags.
The golden hippie out of the crowd. Just kidding.
That's it.
So, we see a lot of native-made beadwork sold and worn by many across the world. And what do you think what do you feel the significance of each piece